This is Saxon Math for 6th grade. Today we're going to be working on lesson 43. We're going to be converting between decimals, fractions, and percents. So look here for a moment. This is the basis of the whole lesson. When you have a picture of a part of a whole, there's 3 ways to name it. So here's my picture. I colored in half of it. One way to name it is as a decimal. 0.5 is half of one whole. Matches my picture. Another way to name it is as a fraction. I have 1 out of 2 parts. 1 out of 2, 1/2. This picture matches this fraction. A third way to name it is as a percent. Percents are always out of 100. The word part cent means 100. So, half of 100 would be 50. 50%. All 3 of these mean the same. Today we're going to learn how to convert between one to another so that you can solve problems more easily. Here we are. Let's say that you have a decimal and you want to change it to a fraction. So say you have 0.125. This is 125 thousandths. To convert between decimals and fractions, you need to use your place value. If it was in the tenths, I would write it as a fraction over 10. If it was to the hundredths, I would write it as a fraction over 100. Because it's to the ones, tenths, hundredths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths place, I'm going to write it as a fraction, keep the same number, write it over the place value, 1,000. Thousandths, it's going to become 1,000. Then you can reduce. It looks the same way if you have a whole number and a fractional part. Keep your whole number, take your decimal, write it over the place value, tenths, hundredths. I'm going to take that 42 and write it over hundredths. I know they're not quite the same, but it's close enough. 11 and 42 hundredths, that reduces to 11 and 21 fiftieths. So, decimals to fractions, use your place value to turn it into a fraction. Okay, fractions to decimals. Turns out this fraction bar line actually means the same as this symbol. This can be read as 1/4, 1/4, or 1 divided by 4. And if you do the math of 1 divided by 4, the answer that you get will be the decimal equivalent of 1/4. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25, which means the same as 1/4. Let's look at 1/3. 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. I get a repeating decimal. I'm going to use what I learned last lesson and write it as 0.3, repeating. So in order to change fractions to decimals, use the line in the middle as a division. Percents to decimals. Remember, percent means out of 100. So 75% means that I have 75 out of 100. Now that you know how to change it into a fraction, continue and change it to a decimal. 75 divided by 100 gives us 0.75. 5% is 5 out of 100, or 5 divided by 100, which is 0.05. Using these 3 systems, you should be able to convert between decimals, fractions, and percents to find equivalent ways to talk about the same quantity.